Hey VC, it's Sunday and I'm relaxing while I can, and watched a couple of videos, and I noticed, well, I didn't notice, but I watched yours, Dustin, that you made an extension to your contest, and I said, okay, well, if I don't do it, I'm not gonna get it done. So I decided to go ahead and do a 10 for you, and because it's the way I do things, I need to explain my reticence and what this 10 is. Top 10 lists are really difficult for me, and at this point kind of irrelevant for me, because it's not that the top 10 would always change, but I cannot remember. I listen to a lot of music across a lot of genres, and whereas I've tried to keep that straight and still do to a degree, ultimately um, things just become a big mess like this when I try to think of the top 10 island desert favorites and all this sort of thing, because my top 10 always ends up being 100. A top 10 is a top 100 for me. I mean, it literally is. So what I've decided to do in order to share with you some music that is really important to me, regardless of the genre, these are just some of my favorite recordings that I don't have on album. So what I have here is, I'm going to call it my top 10, but in reality, that's just to amuse you, because I cannot put together a top 10. A top 10 would be more like a top 1,000. Second thing is, it's not that these CDs are not on vinyl. Some of them are, and some of them aren't. Some of them I don't know if they're on vinyl. All I know is I don't have them on vinyl. I have them on vinyl, and right now I can't afford them on vinyl. So thanks, River, for letting me know about Still Life being on vinyl. Today, I really don't think that I can afford to order it. Not today. Not at $35 plus shipping. I want it. So hopefully, hopefully I'll be feeling. Hopefully, I'll be more able to feel like I can afford it here soon. Before I get to my top 10, I'll just continue to say, as it is my way, that when it comes to vinyl buying, I'm much more cautious about ordering online because of my addictive nature, once you get the ball rolling. And when I have to do it in person, where I can put the record back, I'm in more control. Does that make sense? That's just me telling you how I operate. Okay, I'm sure someone could write me and give me all kinds of advice of what to do, but don't do that, because I'm just telling you how I am, and I'm not being rude. Stop and think about it. When we all are what we are, and you know what I'm saying, it's like, advice is appreciated, but really, ultimately, we got to do what we got to do. So here are 10 recordings I have on CD that I wish that I had on vinyl, and I just absolutely adore this music. First one is Allan Holdsworth, Wardenclyffe Tower. And let's see what year this is. Allan Holdsworth is my favorite guitarist. If we have to do qualifying, this is 1992. If we have to talk about who trips my trigger the most, the hardest, the deepest, the most consistently, this is the man for me. Allan Holdsworth is my personal favorite guitarist. Wardenclyffe Tower has a couple of solos on here where I've just played them, tried to learn them, but I've played them so many times because I feel them and get so much emotion, such a story. He is my favorite guitarist. Again, I know that there's going to be the knee-jerk reaction of some of you folks that don't know me to say, well, what about? Don't bother. that pisses you off, that's too bad. Allan Holdsworth is my favorite guitarist. I'm coming at you, you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel today, you know, maybe maybe it ain't right, but that's how I'm feeling today. I'm coming at you. I got something for you. I love you all, but that is how I feel today. I got something for y'all's ass, okay? So leave me alone coming back about, well, what about some other time, okay? Another record that my friend Astral Traveler has on vinyl. Yila. German psychedelia. You know, this is just one of those brain ticket type of records, you know. Brain ticket's not even German, but it comes to mind right away. It's so crazy and psychedelic. This is the second battle, sorry. Second battle is the reissue label. Yeah, Second Battle. And this is amazing. Yeah, you want to hear this if you're into cosmic music. I'm not going to use the K word. This is, I really would like to have this on vinyl. And preferably an original, which would be hundreds. A few years ago, I saw reissues of this going for 60 and 70 bucks, and I missed my chance. A couple artists here have more than one. That's how much I love their music. And the vinyl would be such a gift. Hiromi Hosono, Tale of Genji. Hosono is the fellow who started YMO. He's probably about 70 years old now. And he was also in the legendary Japanese psych rock band April Fool, way back when. Tale of Genji is his soundtrack to, this is a folktale, ancient folktale. It goes back in Japanese folklore, I understand, for centuries. And apparently there's a version on film, I believe, and this is the music for it. This is gorgeous. Primarily played on traditional Japanese instruments, but the way that it's recorded, the compositions, it's so ambient and beautiful and incredible. Man, I'd love to have this on vinyl. I have several Hosono albums on vinyl, but these two I would love to have. Omni Sightseeing by Hiromi Hosono. This is where it's a mixture of his interest in old jazz and being on the cutting edge of techno. He's really, a lot of what has developed in techno and dub step and grime and whatever you want to call it. Hosono and YMO, although they came in following the lead of Kraftwerk, by virtue of trying so many things, trying to define their own sound, ended up defining a lot of things that are now everyone, you just hear it and you just assume that's so-and-so, but I can show you where they got it. I mean, where it was. YMO and Hosono were among the first, just like people like Jean-Jacques Perry and people in the 60s and Terry Riley and even Lou Reed and the Velvet Underground, how they were the first doing what they did, showing how it's done. Hosono and Yellow Magic Orchestra, in their own way, in the history of modern electronic music, they've done a lot of music that is the same thing. They were the first. They were among the first doing it. And, you're just not household names. This is an amazing album, okay? I'm babbling. All right? I'm giving it to you, Dustin. I know you wanted me to answer, and here I go, man. Much love to you, man. Respect. I had an original copy of this. It was beat, though. It was given to me. And as a result, because it was trashed, I never really valued it and lost it. I couldn't even sell it. I probably just gave it away. Lard free. Man, I'd like to have this on vinyl again. I'm thinking about Big Star 1000. I'm pretty sure, Big Star, you have this on vinyl, don't you? Isn't this something? Gilbert Artman? Talk about minimal space electronic rock. Just way out ahead of the pack, or just not necessarily ahead of the pack, but just doing it their way. Lard free, very unique. And not really necessarily an easy ride, but it's that minimal thing where if you stay with it, the next thing you know, it's like, what the hell happened, you know? Man, this would be fantastic to have on vinyl again. Lard free. Everything that I am talking about, whoever watches, whatever you listen to, I recommend this music to you. This music is so good, regardless of what you listen to, whether you like it or not. I think you need to hear it. I do. This is just fantastic. I've recommended this in videos before. Stone to Flesh by Steve Jansen and Richard Barbieri. These are the cats that were originally in the band Japan with David Sylvian. Richard Barbieri is in Porcupine Tree. Steve Jansen is actually David Sylvian's younger brother. This album is amazing. Steve Wilson plays on here from Porcupine Tree, among other folks. This is one of my, obviously I'm talking about it. This album is so good. So unique too. I don't know what to compare it to. They only sound like themselves. This has a lot of soul, but it's super, sophisticated. That's not even the right word. And it's not about class. It's about deep. This fucking music is deep. Ambient, but funky. When Steve Jansen lays down a groove, God dog, y'all. He's just one of the baddest drummers that hardly anyone listens to, okay? I mean my words, not arrogantly. I'm trying to say, hey folks, if there's anything that I can do, turn you on to some really good music. I mean, clinically speaking, this is good. There's just, you put this in front of any musicologist, this is going to come out on top. Wish this was on vinyl. I don't think this was ever put out on vinyl. Here's another one of theirs with 3/4 or 3/5 of Japan. Jansen, Barbieri, and Karn. Mick Karn, rest in peace, the bass player who died of cancer. Seed. I don't think this is on vinyl either. Ooh, this has got In the Black of Desire. One of my tops. In the Black of Desire. Just one of my top tunes. This shit is just badass. Second Funk. This shit is funky. Second Funk. This shit is tight. Seed. Jansen, Barbieri, and Karn. I'm just coming full guns today, people. I'm just letting you know how I feel about this music. I'm showing you this is some of my dopest music in my collection. These are, everything I'm showing is I play the hell out of these things, okay? This music is so fucking good, okay? Here's another one. Muse second album, Fringers. You know, you can get it for $100 minimum if you can find a copy. When I first heard this, it had the very same effect on me as the very first time I heard Genesis. Foxtrot, Watcher of the Skies was the first thing I heard. Stopped me in my tracks. What is this? I mean, the very first notes are just going and it stopped me. What the fuck is this? And that was my response to this. And to this day, and I've played this hundreds of times. I'm just telling you how it is for Bro Dereck, you know. I love this album. Mew, Fringers, this is badass. Every song on this album, I love, and this is in my opinion, an excellent modern progressive rock, but pop as well band. You know, for a second there, you know, looked like I was going to do a project with Jonas from Mew. You know, actually traded some tracks. It was mainly through Nick, and then Nick got busy with all this other stuff. I don't know, it might come back together. Again, mind-blowing that, you know, I met this cat and, you know, actually started working with him. This is one of my top records of all time. Wish I had this on vinyl big time, y'all. Mew, Frengers. I highly recommend it, even if after you listen to it, you say, oh, that's ain't all that. That's cool. It's all that to me. Fan-fucking-tastic. Mew. One of the best bands around. For my money. One of the best. One of the best. Two more. My good friend in Australia, I will call you that, Ziggy. Ziggy has this on vinyl. I've seen you show it on the Facebook. Man, I've never seen the vinyl copy of this. I'd love it on vinyl. Future Sound of London, Lifeforms. Love this album. And the graphics, just this cover. These images. Would love to have these full size. Not to mention the music. I really like this album. I'm very familiar with this. Really like it. Double CD. Just really like this a lot. Yeah. Future Sound of London, Lifeforms. And for last, another Japanese artist, Akiko Yano. For a time, she was married to Ryuichi Sakamoto, and actually was a touring member of Yellow Magic Orchestra in the early days. But I have a ton of her records on vinyl. I would love some vinyl. Is this Love Is Here? Yeah, Love Is Here by Akiko Yano. Her voice is an acquired taste. Some say it sounds like she's sucking on helium. That's cool. I love this woman and the impeccability. She's a classically trained pianist as well. She can write her ass off as well as sing and play. A little bit of history. Her very first album, I believe, or one of her very first albums, she made with Little Feat. It's my least favorite, to be honest, you know, because of that Western sort of thing that they put in there, you know, which God, as soon as they took it out, she took off as far as the sound, you know. No offense to Little Feat, just talking about my sensibility music, okay? For a time, I believe in the 70s, she was like one of the top pop artists in Japan. And so a few times I think they tried to break over here, nothing ever happened, but I think she's just amazing. Love Is Here. So that's 10. That's a top 10 albums in my collection that I wish were on vinyl. Dustin, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you check out some of this music. From what I can gather, you're mostly a metal rock listener, and I love that music too. And so it's like some of this music, you're ready for it, man. Seek it out, okay? Be well.